Hey, YouTube. So this video, I'm going to talk about a Pisces woman struggle with the ups and downs of life and reality. Yes, we have a hard time with being in the real world because we are outerworldly. We are not of this world. We feel like because we are very, very creative and we live in that dream world, and it can be hard um, to be grounded. And that's why we have to be around people that are very grounded because we live in a dream world. I was thinking about when I was a child and I was wishing that um, I would be able to function because I knew as a kid that I had this dreamy like thing about me. And I was really good in school, but I was quiet and I was really well behaved. And I wasn't all about being in certain cliques. I wasn't all about looking a certain way. I just did my own thing. I did get teased and things like that. But it never made me angry to where a fight. It never changed me. I still try to stay that same person. And with a Pisces, people think we're very different, so they look at us differently. And it really, really was hard on me. Sometimes it still is. But when you have people in your life that understand you because they're just as different, then it makes it easier. But what I've had to learn getting older is that I have to have people that are grounded around me, that it's not so much in fantasy because it's fun there. And I think I should do it more for work. But it's hard to turn off because it's that Neptune energy. You can't turn it off as a Pisces. You can't. It's just like, how Prince was. Prince was a Gemini, but he's a mutable sign. And Michael Jackson's a Virgo. He's a mutable sign. It was always in his mind. Anything creativity, that's why they had a hard time sleeping. I have a hard time sleeping. Because all these creative juices are always flowing in my mind. But it's like you do have to have somebody that grounds you at times because you can't always live in that fantasy because then you don't get your responsibilities taken care of. And Pisces tend to have those problems and they need somebody to help take care of them and help them with their responsibilities. And the other water signs can have a hard time too, but Scorpios are the ones that can be a little more grounded because they're fixed. And I feel like, and they're good with money because that's part of their sign. But a Cancer and a Pisces can struggle in that dream world and that fantasy sometimes if they don't have people that are grounded around them. They can be stuck in that fantasy. So I know with a Pisces, we really, really need to have someone that's a little more grounded. I love that part of me. But I always knew I was different and I was okay with it, and that's why I'm going to put all that fantasy into my work and my creative works and creative projects because that'll help me. But sometimes I can get very, very obsessing into my fantasy because I don't want to deal with the harsh realities of the world because the world can be harsh and we're sensitive. We're a sensitive sign, and that's why we're moody because we have to deal with all of the hard knocks different than most people because we're sensitive. Our heart is fragile. We don't want to get hurt. That's why we swim away from things because we have a temper and we do not like to show that. That's why we try to escape into our fantasy and our dream world to help not get too emotional to where you're getting angry. It's just one of those things. And I just don't like people always like trying to press my buttons. I'm not saying that I won't say anything back, but I can be pretty harsh because I've gone through those periods where people were harsh to me when I was being kind. And I forget that not everybody has that heart. And that's where I go back in fantasy, because fantasy, you can always be in this world of happy rainbows and flowers and butterflies and forget about the dark, forget about the darkness. And that is what is very hard for a Pisces. But when that happens to us and we have to go through the dark, we come out stronger and better than ever. And I have been a witness to that. And I think that's the spirituality side of us. And that is what I think keeps us grounded when we don't have many people grounded in our lives. But that spirituality is like an outer worldly thing, and we all need it. And that's what keeps us going. And that's what brings me back to reality, I feel, is my spirituality. Because when it is tough times and it's hard, I go to God and I get down on my knees and I pray. And that's when a Pisces is in a whole nother level, because that's where we get our strength from, our spirituality. But when we go through the real reality of life, we go to God to guide us. But we still need those strong people around us, to tell us, what we're doing, how exactly everything is. So that's my take on a Pisces woman having to get out of fantasy to get into reality when need be. And it's okay, because we have our spirituality side that gets us stronger and to handle the reality of the world, because we're fragile and we need people that are grounded. And those signs that ground us is a Taurus, a Capricorn, it's the earth signs. So a Taurus, a Capricorn grounds us, and a Virgo grounds us. And that's what we need. A lot of times a Scorpio can ground us too, but they can get caught up in our fantasy world as well. And then they get upset and have to go back to the real world because they get upset the Pisces dragging them into the fantasy. So, but it can work. It's a great combination, because they can bounce off each other. But yeah, that's my take on handling the reality of life being in our fantasy world too much. Thank you.